How many times do they got to crash airplanes before you start to see that there's a pattern to it, a ritualistic pattern, and they're going to keep doing this over and over and over again? I mean, there was Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. There was Flight 911, Flight 811. There was, let's see, Flight 3595. I'm sorry, 9525. See, I get my words mixed up. Think about all the airplanes that hit the World Trade Centers and the Pentagon. And now there's this airplane in Florida by the same numbers and the same pattern. And it reflects, you'd think, like if you walked out of the, if you were watching my last video and you walked out of the room, you came, and somebody came back in, you were still watching it, they'd think I was talking about the same thing because the numbers are so freaking close. And what happened to Silver Bridge with that being on US Route 35, it plays right into this. This is another prediction of the coming destruction of the Golden Gate Bridge. And I don't think there's any doubt about that. Look at the date. It's 5/3, right? At least, well, it ain't now, but it was when this thing crashed, right? 5/3. 5/4 on my clock at the moment, but anyway, it was 5/3, like 53, right? Where have we heard that number before? Well, if you've been watching the last few videos, it's come up quite a few times, hasn't it? Look, 5 times 3 times 1 times 9 is 135. This is the date multiplication. You know, May is the 5th month, the 3rd, and then just the 19. This is the most common way to multiply it. Here's the most common way to add it up here. And by the way, 47, like government equals 47. But 135, look at the 135, Golden Gate Bridge. The big number we just keep talking about over and over and over again. Okay, they are going to do something to this bridge, and it's going to be after this pattern. That's why Captain Marvel made $135 million its opening weekend, and why the Bumblebee movie, where the last scene where they're going across the Golden Gate Bridge, that movie had a budget of $135 million. It's why the Route 35 goes across the Silver Bridge. It's why Pacific Rim is set in the year 2035, where they first released it at the View West End Theater in England, which when multiplied out in septenary is 3520, like the year 2035. Just another 35 again. The big robots that they drive in the Pacific Rim movie are called Jaegers, and Jaeger sums to 35. Yeah. And might remember also that the Malaysian Flight 370 had a 53-year-old pilot. The co-pilot's name equaled 53, Gematria. So what's with all these 35s and 153? They're talking about the frickin' Golden Gate Bridge. Now, pi seems to show up a lot, and that's not by accident. If you wonder where I get this, I mean, it's just, Fox News, okay? Actually, I saw Chicozy talking about it, and I said, I want to look at this too and see if it fits into the way that I do some of these riddles. Look at this, 143 people. Those are just the numbers of pi, 3.14 scrambled around. It's no accident. But there's a reason for the pi ritual, okay? There's more to it. There's more pi in this. Always pi. There's got to be pi every time. And these Jacksonville, Florida, as it's wrote there, 227. This is the most common shorthand for pi. 22 divided by 7 is 3.14. It's not the only one, though. Miami Air, in a slightly different way. This was written on the airplane, according to the article. Miami Air in septenary, 13, 11, and 13 plus 11 is 24. Well, those are just the numbers for pi, 3.142. Okay? That's not a mistake. That's why they did it the way they did it. They're wrecking planes on purpose in a ritualistic fashion. The guy that was in the tower, this was not the airplane captain, I guess. This was the guy that worked on the ground, I guess. They didn't mention who was on the plane. For whatever reason, I don't know why. But Captain Michael Connor, did I spell that right? C-O-N-N-E-R, Captain Michael Connor. Okay, I saw that one wrong, so skip that one. Alright. So forget that one. But the reason that you keep seeing 227, 3.14, 143, however you want to circle it around, is because pi has to do with circles. This is going to come full circle. You're going to see it again. Don't believe me? Remember, Optimus Prime was going across the Golden Gate Bridge with Bumblebee, you know. Bumblebee's license plate some to 135. Here in the Bumblebee movie on this helicopter, it says 13553 right there. And look at this. Here's a Decepticon. And if you can see this, you might have to blow it up. But the number on this Decepticon is 722. 22 divided by 7 is pi. Doesn't matter whether you write it forward or backward, it's the same thing. On this one, you can't really see it. It's cut off a little bit, but this one's number's 13, by the way. Like 135, you know? It's just the first two numbers of it. Alright, now, in the last one, about the Silver Bridge, rather, we said that the lifespan of the bridge was 39 years from the day they built it to the day it collapsed. Well, now look at this. This plane went down in the St. Johns River, which is 39. And what went down? A Boeing 737, which is 39 in septenary, and also the 127, like World Trade Centers, 1, 2, and 7, like Pearl Harbor, 12-7. That was in the last decode because the Silver Bridge went down 1 month and 27 days after the lunar eclipse. Again, here we are seeing the same numbers. They have to plan this out, man. This stuff doesn't just happen, okay? Think about the impossibility of this just happening. It doesn't just happen, okay? They have to plan this out. You go out and do some random things, then punch the numbers in on it and see if it sums to this. It's just not going to work, okay? You know, so Boeing 737, look at it. It's in 39's in the septenary cipher, and most of these 39's are in the septenary cipher. Hold on. Come on, cursor. Now, like Freemasonry, you know, it's 39 in septenary. Like Jacksonville, where this happened, 39 in septenary. And by the way, 5/3/19 is 3 months and 9 days from August 11, the day we think that the Golden Gate Bridge might be collapsed. Something's going to happen that day. Okay? Something's definitely going to happen that day. We just don't know what. Okay? We really, we do think it's going to be the Golden Gate Bridge. I shouldn't say that. We think we know what's going to happen. We don't know when, and we know when something's going to happen, but we're not 100% sure what. Well, probably those two things go together. Okay? We think something's going to happen in 8/11, and we know the Golden Gate Bridge is going to be destroyed at some point. Probably those two things happen at the same time. Okay, those two things go together. So, also with the 44s, okay, think about this for a second. The Silver Bridge collapsed 404 months before 9/11. The Malaysian Air Flight 370 was the 404th plane produced. You don't believe me? Just look it up on Wikipedia, man. That's where I get this information. I don't like dig for it or anything. It's just right here on Wikipedia, you know? Oh, look at that. Yeah, see, 227 passengers. Think about that again. We just talked about the 227. It had 227 passengers. That's more pi because this is coming full circle because it's telling you it's part of the same ritual. You understand? Okay. So the Silver Bridge collapsed 404 months before 9/11. Flight 370 plane was the 404th plane produced. And they said that this plane that went down in Florida was a charter plane. which is 44. Both ways. Okay, 44 in septenary as well. So they are trying to make it crystal clear to the initiated ones, if you will, what they're going to do. Charter plane 3.142. Look at that. More pi. You see how this is encoded over and over again? Wow. It's like the more you dig, the more you find, okay? You don't even have to dig hard. It's just like standing out in front of you. You just have to know basic sacred geometry, normal kind of little math numbers, a lot of it, and pay attention and read some articles. And if you can't do that, just type stuff in and see what matches. I mean, that's what I did for the first couple months. So it's just, it's real easy to see that something's going on here. But there are a lot of people, honestly. There really are a lot of people just can't get it. And I don't understand. There's people who don't understand the concept of a metaphor, So if you see a 227 on a robot, you can't see that that's a metaphor, that it's showing you a symbol of something that is to come. It makes you wonder if they can even understand that a star on a flag represents a state. Well, it's a star. It's not a state. Just no concept. And my brother's that way. Okay, there's a lot of people that just can't get common sense. But I mean, maybe we've got to stop calling it common sense, because it's just not that common, I'm seeing. But hopefully you understand it. And so if you have questions, please ask. If you have tips, give them to me, because I mean, a lot of these things come from tips. I don't even start exploring until I get the tips. So a lot of times I don't even know about it. So somebody gives me a tip and then I go explore it. So a lot of my videos come from tips. So thanks for watching again, and please like, share, and subscribe.